What's up, YouTube? Welcome to a very special new format of the Spooky Screen. We've been doing a lot of reviews. We just wrapped up Yellow Jackets Season 2, and we decided we want to try something a little different, and we're going to do a new format which is less review-based and more discussion-based about current media, film, TV trends. So before I get into that, I want to introduce my co-hosts of the show, Nick, Noah, Steve, and Dave. We're best friends, and we love to get together and talk about these subjects. So one of the first things we wanted to do today was talk about a new section called New Movies and TV. Things that have just come out recently, things that are hot on the mind, hot on the news trends, things that people are excited to watch. Some of us are more excited than others, but we have a really special show that's getting a lot of press and interest, and a couple of our co-hosts have watched it and have opinions that we want to talk about. So Noah, do you want to introduce the show?
The show is The Idol. It's on Max. Stars The Weekend.
I hope you don't try to get people excited about this one.
Yeah, I feel like you're not allowed to be excited about this show. Otherwise, you might get a bunch of articles written about you. The show is almost called The Weekend. No, the show is The Idol. It's on Max. Stars Lily Rose Depp and The Weekend, and it's basically about. I mean, I've only seen 2 episodes, but it seems like it's about a pop idol girl that gets entangled with a predator while having lots of pressures in the music industry, like on her. Like, she has to make this comeback to try and revitalize her career after having a nervous breakdown and after her mother just passed away. So that's kind of the story I've gotten so far. Again, I've only seen 2 episodes.
But that's all that's out, right?
So that's all that's out. And if you read any sort of TV or film news, you've probably heard how much everyone hates this show. Like, there's a lot of, it's called toxic. It's called torture porn. They blast The Weeknd's acting. Like, it's just, there's basically no good press right now for the show. And
all press is good press.
I guess maybe that's on purpose. Only me, Steven, and David have seen it. Is that correct?
Dave, you've just seen 1 episode, right?
I started watching the second one. I just fell asleep.
You fell asleep. But do you...
Raving review right there.
But do you like it so far? What are your thoughts?
I personally think
no spoilers,
I
right?
wouldn't finish. I don't.
Yeah, don't spoil. I actually want to watch.
Yeah. As it is now, I probably won't finish the season. I think it's an interesting look into kind of like the machine that is the music industry, or any kind of industry that centers around like producing someone as a commodity. Like a product to be
commodities.
Yeah.
Commodifying a human.
Yeah, commodifying. That's the word.
Commodification of the human, the Homo sapien.
So I think it's a really interesting idea, and I am intrigued by where all this bad press is coming from.
What are you dancing around, David? You're doing like a weird little tiptoe dance around something. I feel like you're avoiding saying something.
I'm trying not to spoil it.
Okay.
He's moonlighting as me.
No, I probably won't finish the show. It's interesting. It's an interesting idea. I don't necessarily care for the acting so far.
No, that's all The Weekend, because all I keep hearing is that The Weekend.
No.
But
you haven't seen it. How can you say? You haven't
I said that's all I keep hearing is that it's The Weekend who can't do it. But is it the entire cast? Do they just not gel?
A lot of these characters, I feel like, are supposed to make you feel icky, and I don't know if they're doing such a good job at it that it's just really turning me off. It's like, I don't know if I'm not going to be entertained by that. I'm not going to be entertained by a group of adults, manipulating and pressuring this young girl into like doing things, and it's like it's not my cup of tea.
The main character is not an anti-hero. I just want to clarify that. Like, she's very clearly a cog in this system, and they're wearing her down through a lot of demands, right? She's got to mount her comeback, shoot her music videos, come out with her singles, and she's balancing on a knife's edge of creative integrity, processing her mother's grief, and also feeling outcompeted by some people that are around her as well, like better dancers, better singers. So I wouldn't say that it's an anti-hero story. I think there are anti-hero elements of secondary characters around her, especially the Weeknd's character. But yeah, I just want to clarify that.
I just want to defend The Weeknd right now and say that his acting is not that bad. I truly don't
my
get
canceled button.
Where's the cancel button? I really don't. He's playing like a manipulator. He's not showing his full hand to her yet.
If anything, he's understated, right? He's a little bit understated. He's like keeping things under wraps.
Yeah, and I think that's his character. I think his character is that there's so much going on deep within. You know, he's a predator in my mind. I see him as a predator, but on the outward, he's like this big flashy character has everyone under his finger. You know, he can easily manipulate himself into inner circles.
Does he know he's a predator? Or does
I'm pretty sure he knows he's a predator.
But you know what I mean? Like, it's like Dexter's whole thing is he's like well aware of his intent and ability and what he is in the cog. Like, or is he just a beast? Like,
I see him more as a cult leader, not as hokey as a cult leader, but more of like a realistic cult leader where they feel like they're doing something great, like they're making great music, but they feel like they also are owed a lot for that. Especially at the end of episode 2, it felt like there's a good yin and yang of who has the main character's best interests, and it's starting to set up as like these two warring factions almost. And there's kind of like a good side and a dark side. And I think, of course, it's complicated because the story is more from that tone of like realism where, yes, they're your manager, but they do care about her, but at the same time, they have to make money, right? So there's this push and pull of that, like, yes, I see you as a daughter, but I can't just pay for your mortgage because you're going under. You're not selling albums. You want to make great music, but you're not willing to get your hands there. You're not willing. You want to make this weird experimental music, but I just want you to make a hit so you can make money and take care of yourself.
No spoilers, Noah. Jeez.
Yeah. So like,
sorry.
No, it's okay.
To back up Noah's point, like, 2 of her current entourage before Tedros, Weeknd's character, comes into the picture, they genuinely care for Jocelyn's character. Like, one of them, her manager, who's played by Hank Azaria. He's awesome. Great, by the way. Love his acting. And he's also putting up half her mortgage. Like, he clearly states it on the show. So he's got money. He's putting his money where his mouth is, right? And then there's another actress, I forget her name. She's a black actress. She genuinely cares for Jocelyn. Like, when at the music video scene and when she's having the breakdown, she's like coaching her through it with a pep talk. So there are some people in that crew that do look out for her and care for her, and there are others that don't. So,
can I ask a question to the viewers who have seen it?
Divine Joy Randolph. Sorry,
Divine Joy Randolph. There you go. What's her character's name?
I don't know.
Divine. So, you know, this movie, I mean, TV show, excuse me, not a movie, is getting a lot.
Destiny.
Okay. Like,
Go ahead,
Divine,
Johnny.
Destiny is all the same thing. I was interested in understanding because this is HBO, right? HBO, I believe.
Max.
Yes,
Max.
No, it's Max.
To the max. Okay, so it's Max. I'm thinking of Euphoria. That's what I'm thinking of right now. And I had heard a lot about Euphoria. I watched one episode, and to me, it was just extremely distasteful. It got a lot of praise and award and Zendaya this and that, and I just thought it was really kind of perverse how explicit there was ideas about teenagers who are minors and drugs and sex. I just thought it was like very strange. And that show's been praised heavily, deeply heavily. Why do you think this show is getting so much aggressive hate on a topic that, from what you're saying, actually sounds very appropriate to the plot, despite, you know, them saying that Lily Rose Depp was being taken advantage of, they should be ashamed, this is explicit, X-rated. I haven't seen it, but I'm already seeing that there's probably hypocrisy in the opinions are going on here.
My guess is that it had to do with the politics, right? There was these articles that came out about controversies in the behind the scenes, and you have a lot of these folks who write these articles, these reviews, and they're insiders, right? They get the scoop, right? They know people, they yuck it up at the awards shows, and it's you're supposed to maintain a professional perspective when writing these things, but you're human at the end of the day.
No,
like Steven said, a lot of, even before the show came out, there was all these articles published about how there was a female director before the guy that did Euphoria, Sam Levinson. She had a whole show, like 80% filmed, and I don't know who got her kicked off. Supposedly it was The Weeknd, but you never know. The Weeknd got kicked her off of the show and said she had too much of a female perspective in the show. So they brought in Sam Levinson, who did Euphoria, and he rewrote the entire show. And I think that if that's true, I don't know. Who knows? But
that's what the article
pissed
says.
off. Yeah, that's what the article says, alleged. That if people assume that is true, that's why all these like Variety, right, Rolling Stone, The Hollywood Reporter, they're going to take this show and try to burn it to the ground, even if it's a good show, because there is this real life politics involved surrounding it. So even though I feel like a lot of the hate and a lot of the articles written, like The Weeknd is a bad actor, articles being written, I feel like those aren't really fair. But I understand why they're being written, right? They want this to fail, and they don't care they don't care if their reason is justified, or maybe they're stretching the truth a little bit, like calling it X-rated and torture porn. Like if you watched Game of Thrones, shame on you, because that is way more X-rated than this so far. What I've seen of the 2 episodes,
that's not classically what journalism is meant to be.
I know, but I think it reminds me a lot of growing up in the homeschooling group, and them automatically saying that Harry Potter is of the devil, or like they use real life spells, like it's sensationalized because you're trying to protect your kids from something, right, that you think is bad, so you're going to say it's evil, it's demonic, like it has those type of vibes, like I understand where they're coming from, they want to do good, they want the moral upright to float to the top, but they're burning the ground to do it, and I think it's unfair to a lot of the cast and crew that weren't involved with that drama or scandal. So I don't know.
Do we have an episode count like for the season, or I assume it's going to be like anywhere
6 episodes.
Oh, I was going to say anywhere between like 8 to 10, but 6. Okay.
No.
I mean
but
I feel like seasons are just getting shorter and shorter.
There's 6 seasons with 6 episodes by 6 actors. No, I'm just kidding.
This show had an inordinate amount of press and controversy reported, so it's hard to just kind of put on blinders and ignore that when it's already been flooding the airwaves, Yeah,
no, and the reason I ask is because you guys, in your very simple explanation, I mean, our little show is just a sharing discussion, but like I already feel more inclined to watch it than I did when I just saw the headlines.
Yeah,
just because they worked, like they knew exactly what to say to a good amount of people to keep them from watching it.
Well, I will warn Johnny, there's a lot of nudity.
Oh, well, now I'm not going to watch it.
Lily Rose Depp is basically naked the entire show, so I just want a full warning.
Less inclined to watch it.
No,
I just want to give my honest.
You should have just shut your mouth.
I looked at some of the reviews.
He would get so mad at us if I didn't mention that.
I looked at some of the critic reviews.
Wife walks in. What are you watching?
Brutal.
Noah made me watch it.
Let's
Steven
move on.
nudity. Steven wants
move
to
on.
talk about the strikes. You really want that's a topic he wanted to share.
I do not want to talk about the strikes.
I will say, because of the writer's strike, they canceled the new Daredevil TV show that was supposed to come out.
Oh.
Are you sad, Nick?
Yeah, a little. I really like Charlie Cox as an actor. He's very talented. He did fantastic in that role.
Damn, he must be so mad.
Right?
Chucky Cox.
But Honestly,
Why
like,
dying?
I was really looking forward just to seeing him be the character again. I really appreciate his acting ability, and I
Funny.
thought he was the fact that they got to bring him back in Spider-Man after they canceled his series the first time. It was really nice to know that he was going to come back in some way, shape, or form. We were going to get to see that character portrayed again, and now here we are with him
So
canceled again.
this is a plea to the studios. This is affecting people. Nick is upset.
I'm so heartbroken.
Pay them what they're worth.
All right, let's move on to the next topic.
That's
Oof,
just
man.
not even gonna buy me a drink. I was hoping to have done something more interesting, but I'm catching up on Succession, guys, and I will say that I am so happy to watch a show like this. It's just so good. Like I haven't watched a show in a while that just makes me want to watch all night long. Like if I had no responsibility, I only ended up doing an episode, maybe two, because life. But I want to just binge the show so.
Where
badly.
are you right now? Where are you?
Middle of season 4. We're almost done.
Oh, okay.
Ooh, wait.
We're right in the heat. We're right in the heat of it.
The
Did
big
the big
thing
event-
happen then?
Did the big thing happen in the
The
airplane?
big thing happened.
Ooh,
Big thing
okay.
happened. So we're post big thing happening. I was kind of stunned that happened. I was convinced, and I really avoid spoilers. I'm very good at it. I had some inkling from one meme I saw, but I've really avoided most things. Adeline's seen more. But I was like, wow, I really thought that wasn't going to happen at all in the series. I really thought it was going to be this kind of eternal battle. And so I was super interested in the fallout, and it kind of just threw me through the loop. Like, oh, this is going somewhere I had no idea it was going to go. I'm just so interested in the characters, and I'm so interested in the conclusion of this drama. I really am. Sometimes I think, like, what happened in this episode? Because it's just a lot of talking and meetings. Like, if you think about it, it's like no one's eating people like in Yellow Jackets. There's no like battle scenes. There's no superhero powers. This is quite literally corporate dialogue. I really liked, there was a quote from Kendall. It's not spoiling anything, but he turns to Shiv on the plane and he says something like, "We're battling ogres," and she's like, "You're reading documents." And it shut the conversation off for a second. It was really funny. I was like, that is the show. Like, you're just listening to boring corporate dialogue, but it's so good because the characters are so interesting.
Yeah.
And the relationships and their backstories and their motivations. Like, this is a perfect masterclass, in my opinion, of character writing. Like, they just wrote such compelling characters, and like the story, it's probably a mediocre plot. Like, I'm not saying it's a bad plot. I think it's a great plot, but the characters are what makes it.
So even if the plot was about a broom, you think they could just really compel you because
I think so. I think they could do a whole episode on a broom. It would be fantastic.
That's strong. Serious. That's very strong praise.
I could see Connor with a broom talking about this historic presidential broom. Oh, I love it.
There's so much not said that you can feel it when you're in. Like, even though they're talking about like corporate lingo, there's so much behind the wall, like behind
subtext.
the eyes. Yeah, subtext. And so much built before it that you just feel the tension. They could just be talking about nothing. And you're like, ooh. You can feel
Honestly, that is a very I don't want to say lost art, but that's not a TV. That's not a skill a lot of TV shows really possess.
Who's your favorite character?
Oh, Tom. I've loved Tom from like so long.
Okay.
It was Greg a little bit at the beginning, but Tom just has been my straight there. But I love Roman. I really love Roman. I think.
Okay. I was about to say, which one of the kids is your favorite?
Yeah, I think he's my favorite just because I empathize. I can empathize with him in a lot of ways. I think he's like a mess. Not that I'm a mess, but he is a mess that has a really sweet heart that he's trying to find and keep. And it's just like not the place to do that.
And he uses comedy as a deflection.
Oh, so good. So
I'll
good.
start watching it.
Yeah, Dave, if you haven't gotten that from this.
I would say
someone.
top 5 TV shows of all time.
I agree.
Is it ending soon? Is this?
It's
ended.
over. Yeah.
Oh, it's done. Okay.
It's done.
Yeah.
It's like one of those shows where it's like era defining. Like you had Sopranos in the late 90s, early 2000s. You had Lost. Okay, I know our feelings about Lost, but Lost was a cultural.
No, it was
a cultural phenomenon. Yeah, when it came out, like there's no denying that. Game of Thrones, Breaking Bad, Mad Men, and now we have Succession.
Oh yeah, I would put it right near the top of the list.
Yeah.
It depends on who you are, the order, but it should be in the top 10, top 5 for sure.
I want to add to that is this show is so funny. It
It's
is
super funny.
so funny. Like it's very dramatic, but it pivots right into humor and like the darkest, cheapest. Like there's fart jokes, you know, like
You sold me.
everything. Everything.
David
Come
always
on.
a fart joke.
Son of a bitch,
So-
I'm in.
There's a character for everyone, right? That's the blooper reel right there.
Yeah.
Nip it and clip it, baby.
That was a nice karate chop.
Oppenheimer tickets went on sale a few days ago.
Oh.
There is one IMAX theater in LA, one legit 70 millimeter
Really?
IMAX theater. Yeah,
I
Can
feel
you
like there
believe
would have to be more than
Can
one.
you
It's
get
LA.
on the East Coast, please? Come on. We have
And
one like every town.
I got tickets. I got tickets to it on Saturday. There was literally like one seat in the middle of the theater, and it was almost as if like God was like, "This is your chosen place for this evening." So I couldn't believe it. I picked it and I booked it, but you know the theater is packed, and it's like by the time I get out, it'll be like 1 a.m. whatever.
I love those nights.
I'm actually more excited about the experience of like watching in a packed theater than like really the story itself. Like I almost feel like I haven't experienced that in like 4 or 5 years. And like IMAX 70 million, it's a really big screen, you know, that's what it's supposed to be. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Just say your name into the microphone for the record.
Yeah, my name's Noah.
And he's an alcoholic.
And I would like to do a movie review of The Boogeyman. I saw that last night. It came out in theaters maybe last week or the week before, and I want to recommend it. Thumbs up. I will say it's a movie that you've seen probably 1,000 times. It's a generic monster movie, but the performances, which stars Sophie Thatcher, which we know from Yellow Jackets, are stellar. Young Natalie. And the characters were more than two-dimensional. They were three-dimensional. And I was really scared throughout. I was very scared throughout, which that if you know me, that doesn't happen often. I don't get scared by horror movies. So, and it was directed by our boy Rob Savage, who is a fan of the spooky
Bobby.
Screen. So
I'm actually really glad that you saw this because I was thinking about wanting to see it, but all I could think about was that movie Boogeyman that came out like 15 years ago.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That
Nothing like
terrible
that.
one.
the guy from Seventh Heaven.
Yeah, and I could just not separate it from that. Like that guy made that movie, and we never saw him again.
Boogeyman got him.
Now, Noah, is this a theater must?
It is, in my mind, a theater must, or you must at least watch it in a dark room by yourself. Because I hate people that say it wasn't scary, but you saw it on your little freaking phone 2 p.m. in the afternoon. Like you don't go through a haunted house with the lights on. Like, of course, it's not going to be scary. So you got to set up the right atmosphere, the right environment for watching. So yes,
custom theater in your house. No, I'm just kidding.
You got to see it in the theater or dark room alone.
This is our new format, guys. Let us know if you liked or disliked this. Leave us a comment. Tell us what you think about any of the topics. The Idol. What's my favorite show called?
Succession.
Succession. Sorry, I'm a little fuzzy and spacey. Boogeyman and Oppenheimer
and Nick's thing.
Daredevil.
Charlie Cox Daredevil.
Chucky Cox.
The canceled Daredevil show.
Yes, they canceled Daredevil, and Charlie Cox can't be Charlie Cox.
I'm just gonna let Noah add a little violin sound here.
Yes, I have tears.
We're out.
Bye.
See you guys.
See you guys.